So Rona is saying hi, and Catherine is saying hello, and Megan is giving me a green heart. Hello, Megan. And Karen is saying hi. Irma is hi from Orlando. Robin is saying hi, Queen. Inside my programs, they all call me the Queen. A very funny story. I did like one of my lives one day with like a crown on. I was slightly drunk, if truth be told. I just come back from like a Christmas party. So they all call me the Queen ever since doing that. Yvette is here from Arizona. Catherine from South Africa. So Jennifer Hoy, I'm going to answer yours first. Can you tell me more about the workouts and what's involved? Yes, I can, Jennifer. Okay, so the workouts in the 12-week shred program are, I designed them to be short. Okay, so I didn't want them. If anyone has done my 4-week shred program, what you will know about the 4-week shred is it's very time consuming. There's up to 3 hours of training per day. There is, up to at the very end of the program, you're doing an hour's cardio in the morning, an hour's cardio in the evening, and then an hour's training 4 days a week. Because this is a longer program, I didn't want you to have to do that, right? So I went back to what I did last year. This year when I prepped, I did a lot of cardio, okay? A lot of slow, steady cardio. Last year when I prepped for competition, I didn't do a lot of slow, steady cardio. I did HIIT workouts in between my weight sessions. Now I was prepping with a guy last year, not Mark, my current trainer. I was prepping with a different guy, and this is the workout that he gave me, which was cardio, which was strength training sessions with HIIT in between. So this is the workout in the 12-week shred program is very, very, very effective. And even if you're not going to do the 12-week shred and you just want to lose a bit of weight, this is the way you do it, okay? So basically the workouts are between 45 minutes and 60 minutes long. That's because you're only getting 1 minute's rest between each weight session. So how it would work is, say your first set of, your first exercise is bench presses, right? So you're going to choose a weight that you're going to keep for the entire session of chest presses or whatever exercise you're doing. Then you're going to do a barbell press. You're going to get down to a bench press. You're going to do one set of 10 to 12 reps. Then you're immediately going to do 1 minute of cardio, right? We give you different cardio options to choose from: high intensity, high impact, low impact. What you want to do though is keep moving for the full minute. Then you're going to get back onto the bench press and you're going to do another minute, or you're going to do another set of bench presses, then another minute of cardio, then another set of bench, then another minute of cardio. So that is how the exercise is done in the 12-week shred. The exercises, so you train 6 days a week. The exercises are laid out in a very specific way to hit big compound exercises earlier in the week and then more single isolation exercises late in the week. The reason why we've done it this way is so that at the start of the week, after only having done single isolation body part exercises towards the end of the week, you're back to and then having a rest day on a Sunday, you're back to having full energy. And whenever you have full energy on a Monday morning, I want you to really take advantage of that, and I want you to utilize it to the max. So that is the way the training is done. It is not time intensive whatsoever. It is literally in and out of the gym, 45 to 60 minutes max. That's what the people who are doing it at the minute are reporting. They're like, can this really be right? I was only in the gym for 40 minutes. And we're like, yeah, because you're not faffing around. You're getting it in, getting it done, and you're getting out. So it's going to be, it's only, it is 6 days a week. Okay. People are like, I have to go to the gym 6 days a week. Yes, unfortunately you do. But you know what? You're going to have to suck it up, Buttercup, because if you want athlete style results, you're going to have to do what an athlete does. So that's all about the workouts. So that's another question I get a lot. Am I too old to start this program? Right? Do you know what I always say? You're too old not to start this program. Like asking me if you are too old to start this program is like asking me if you are too dirty to take a bath. It's like, am I too dirty to take a bath? No, you're not too old. We have women in their 70s. We have men in their 60s. And we have men and women in this program. There's another question coming up. Is it suitable for men too? Yes, it's suitable for men too. I market to women because I am a woman, obviously. So I do market to women, but men, we have loads of men in this program. We have loads of husband and wife combos doing it. If you can rope your husband or your wife into doing this with you, you have so much more of a chance of success, let me tell you. So it's suitable for men, suitable for women. It's like, if anyone watches me on Instagram or even here on Facebook, I train like a man. I don't train like a woman. So I'm not dissing cable glute kickbacks or booty bands, although I have in the past. You know my feelings on those. However, I don't do them, right? I do big compound exercises, man's workouts. So that all my training is completely suitable for men. So, okay, guys are saying that you can't share on Instagram. You can only choose friends to share it with. That's fine. I can see if you've shared it or not. So just share it with a friend, okay? If you can't share publicly, if you have a private account, share it with a friend. Okay, so okay, so Romeo's mom is asking, is the approved food list a little broader than the 4-week shred? So anyone here who's done a 4-week shred program, who's considering doing the 12-week shred, it is completely different. Massively, massively, massively broader. You're allowed fruit. You're allowed loads of different vegetables. You're allowed loads of different carb sources. The 4-week shred is a very intense program. It's designed to get massive results in a really short space of time. So therefore, it's a very, very limited food list. But in the 12-week shred, yes, it is a much wider food list. However, there's something that I really need to say, okay? So whether or not you are going to do the 12-week shred or the 4-week shred or whatever, what I want you all to hear this, okay? So some people here are just interested in shredding, right? You're like, I'm not going to do any of your programs, but I'm kind of interested in what you've got to say because I've seen you get really lean, right? Totally respect that. So if you want to get really, really shredded, okay? And I'm looking at Instagram and I'm looking at Facebook for anyone who's just joined to have both going here at the same time. If you want to get really, really shredded, you need to eat very simple whole foods that are very trackable. So in this and all of my shredding programs, very different in the 12-month program, but in this and all of my shredding programs, the food is very, very simple. And it's designed simply for a reason. So whenever I'm tracking macros, I eat, I weigh everything first of all. So I will have in my prepared lunch, whatever, it'll be a certain amount of tofu, a certain amount of sweet potato, a certain amount of green vegetables, right? And nuts or whatever. Everything gets weighed and everything gets tracked. The reason for this is, even though you can make a recipe, right? And we had this in the group, we were discussing this recently and I was trying to break it down for everybody. So you could have a recipe such as a soup or a stew, right? And it says serve 6 and you're like, oh, perfect, serve 6. So you make this big, lovely recipe, right? And then you get 6 different containers and then you spoon it into 6 different containers. And you think, great, what are the macros for each it's serving? It breaks it down. I've got 15 grams of protein. I've got 30 grams of carbs, blah, 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 whatever. The problem is whenever you make a big recipe and then you spoon it into 6 different containers, you don't know how much you're getting per container because it's never, ever evenly weighed and tracked and divided amongst the 6 containers, ever. So bodybuilders never, ever, ever do that whenever we're tracking because it makes your food so hard to track and you just don't know what you're getting. So we will have a portion of broccoli, a portion of tofu or seitan or whatever we're eating, a portion of sweet potato or rice or quinoa or whatever for your carbs. So each meal is weighed, tracked, and packed. And that is how you get the best results. So even whether you're going to do this 12-week shred program or not, if you want to get really good results, and some people come to me and they're like, oh, I find tracking macros so hard. I find it so hard. I just don't know what to do. And I say tracking macros is not hard if you just eat simple foods. If you're grabbing a sandwich from the local deli, then yes, tracking macros is really, really hard. But if you're prepping on a Sunday and you're cooking in bulk and you cook a massive amount of broccoli and you weigh sweet potatoes and you bake them in the oven and then you scramble tofu and you have exactly, you have like 4 or, well, if you were doing it for a week, you would do 7 blocks of tofu or however many you need. So you would weigh everything out. You would cook everything in one go. Would it take you a couple of hours? Yes, but that's fine because that's you cooking for the entire week. And then you spoon everything evenly into the containers and then you put them in the freezer or the fridge. That means that whenever you take a meal out of the fridge or you take one of your meals out, you know exactly how many macros are in that. And the beauty about counting macros is you only have to do it once if you eat the same thing every single day. So what I always recommend is you do 1 day's food in MyFitnessPal, okay? So you work out 1 day's food. So how much protein do I need to eat to hit my grams? How many carbs? How many fats, right? So you work all those out beforehand using the calculations. We give you calculations in the 12-week shred. We say, take your body weight in pounds, multiply it by X for your carbs, by X for your protein, by X for your fat. So you know your daily protein and fat and carb breakdown. You plan that in MyFitnessPal, right? Then you play around with the numbers. You add some lentils or you take them away. What about if a sweet potato? Oh, what about half of that sweet potato? What about, oh, no, that's too much tofu. That puts me over in fat. So I'll reduce the tofu. I'll substitute with seitan. You play around with this in MyFitnessPal. You create 1 day's food, okay? So this is my phone, 1 day's food. And then you eat the same thing every single day for a week. I'm not kidding. I eat the same thing for breakfast, lunch, and dinner when I'm prepping every single day, usually for 12 weeks, right? But I'm not, you're like, oh, 12 weeks. Yes, 12 weeks. But you know what? If you don't want to do that and you just want to have, just have it, for a week, then you can change your food the next week. But that means you don't have to track every single day. You never have to take MyFitnessPal out ever again in that whole week, because you know exactly how much is in the food that you have prepped. You can do overnight oats for the morning, or, just oats that you weigh out and you make like a protein oatmeal. You can do, your lunch, whatever your lunch is, and your dinner, whatever your dinner is. And it makes it so simple because you don't have to track during the week. You just take your lunch, your dinner, your snacks, your nuts, your fruit, whatever you have planned, and you just lift them out of the fridge in portions and you just eat them. That is the way that I recommend that anybody who wants to lose body fat preps their food. And that is how I recommend that we do the 12-week shred. So loads of people were coming in and they were like, oh, this is great. So we can eat anything. Yay. We could eat anything on the food list. And everyone was like posting recipes of, on enchiladas and, and Mexican burritos. And I was like, guys, no. The food list is more comprehensive. Yes. But like, no enchiladas, no burritos. This is a, yes, you can kind of eat anything if you're tracking it. But you don't know you don't know the macros of that burrito. You don't know the macros of that enchilada. Will you still get good results if you eat that way? Yes, probably. But will you get better results if you eat the way I teach you to? 100%. Why do bodybuilders eat this way? Because it works. Okay. And if I wanted to be really successful in something, I would look at the biggest, baddest, leanest bodybuilder in the world, and Mark Getty, my trainer, and I would say, okay, so what does Mark Getty do? Because I'm going to do exactly what he does. And that's basically why I've been so successful. The first year that I prepped, I wasn't as successful. I didn't get as lean as I wanted to be. And that's because my trainer gave me the diet he wanted me to follow. And I went, I'm not going to follow this. I know better than this. I just believed I knew better. And of course, I didn't come in as lean as I wanted to. The 12-week shred was developed last year when I prepped because I was determined I wasn't going to be fat on stage because I felt like I was fat the first year. So I developed this shred. I got absolutely and utterly ripped to the bone. And that's how I know that it works. Okay, let's take some more questions. So let's have a wee look. If you aren't, Courtney Stewart, if you aren't an experienced weightlifter, is this something I'll be able to do on my own without a spotter? Yes. And I'll tell you why this is like my program that is the best program for that. Because although we want you to go to failure on this program, we always want you to go to failure in order for the muscle to grow. And by failure, I mean you're like this. Like you literally can't move the weight 1 more inch, right? We want you to hit failure. Let me take a drink. Hang on. Looks like pee, doesn't it? Every time I drink it, my kids go, Mommy, that looks so like pee. And I'm like, no, it really does look like pee. It's got Herb Farm liver tonic in it, which makes it look yellow, but it really makes it look like someone peed and you're drinking pee. So in this program, you don't increase the weight per set. So in every other one of my muscle building programs, you increase the weight per set. So you'd maybe start off at, say, a 50 kilogram squat, and then you'd go to 60 kilos, then 70 kilos, then 80 kilos. So you're increasing per set. In this 12-week shed program, so you're not lifting weights on and off. And because you're doing cardio in between, which is keeping the anabolic window very high, you don't increase your weight per set. You keep the weight the same. So it's actually it's the best program ever to start with because you don't have to get a spotter for your final sets because you're never ever, in the first set, the first exercise, you should actually, whenever you're lifting that weight, say doing shoulder presses, right? Whenever you're doing your shoulder presses, you should feel after the first set that you could probably lift another 2 to 4 reps. So you're certainly not feeling in the first set. Second set, you're maybe struggling a wee bit. Maybe you only got 2 in reserve. Third set, you're like, oh, maybe only 1 in reserve. By the fourth set, you should be like, you might not even get to the 10 to 12 reps. You might only get to 6 to 8, but that's good because you've got 12 weeks and you're going to increase your strength as you go. So that's the way this program is worked out. And that's why it is perfectly acceptable, perfectly safe for even if you have never done any weight training before. Every time whenever you open the workout PDF, as in all my programs, my free ones that are available on my website, my paid programs, they're all done the same. You click on the name of the exercise and it opens a YouTube video of me doing the exercise. So it's really like having a personal trainer in the gym, and you get to know the exercises very quickly because I don't change the exercises a lot in my program. I keep them the same so that you will build a muscle memory. So your central nervous system will develop a pattern of movement, which kind of like driving a car. When you first get into a car to drive, you're terrified, right? And you can't have any music on, and you can't, you certainly couldn't, have any distractions. You're just concentrating on changing gears and you're whatever. And you certainly couldn't think about going fast because you don't have the confidence yet, right? Then after a few years, you can get into the car, I remember saying to my sister once, she was like, do you eat while you drive? I was like, eat while I drive? I smoke, eat, drive with my knee, apply makeup and listen to music while I drive. I'm like combing my eyelashes while I'm driving. I'm drinking from my water. I'm, texting on the phone. No, I'm not really, am I joking? But, so now that you're driving, you can do many, many things. So whenever you're lifting weights, if you lift the same weights all the time, if you do the same exercises over and over and over and over and over again, your body develops a pattern of movement where you get on that machine and you're not thinking about it. You're just going through the motions, but which means you can go heavier. It's whenever you change your exercises. The biggest mistake people make in the gym that I see is changing their exercises too often. They think that if they change their exercises, they will confuse their body, right? They're like, oh, I confused my muscles today. You can't confuse your muscles, folks, okay? Like seriously, okay, listen, if you don't take anything else away from this live, take this one thing away. Your body and your brain is the most sophisticated organism that ever existed on the planet, okay? You are not capable of confusing your muscles, okay? You change up your exercises, you may feel a little sore the next day because, you've worked different muscle groups, but let me tell you something, there is no confusing the body, okay? Can't confuse your body. So how muscle grows, muscle doesn't grow when you confuse your body, which is what a lot of people think. Oh, I need to change the exercises to confuse the muscle. No, you don't. You need to keep the exercises the same so that you can build a central nervous system pattern of movement, which means that you feel comfortable as shit on this exercise. And you can just add on more load, add on more load, add on more load. More load, i.e. more weight. That's what makes the muscle grow. Yes. Or more volume, or shorter rest periods, okay? 3 types of progressive overload: more volume, which means more reps, basically. I'm going to reverse because that's the worst one to do. More load is king, okay? Then more volume, so more reps, and shorter rest periods. So the 12-week shred combines more load because we want you to add weight every single week, okay? It also uses the progressive overload technique of less rest, okay? So because you're not resting, because you're doing your cardio, you're going to overload the muscle again. And we also do more volume because everything is in the 10 to 12 rep range. So that's the way the muscle grows. So perfectly acceptable. Even if you've never stepped foot in a gym, this is perfectly and utterly acceptable. Okay, so let's see what else is coming up here on Instagram. Oh, Dana's here, my BFF Dana. I was just in New York with Dana and she was like, suck it up, buttercup. I'm like, yes, baby, suck it up, buttercup. Okay, Martise Brumfield is saying, I'm a heavy runner, so I run 3 miles a day on the treadmill. Can I continue this on the program? 100%, absolutely. People ask this all the time. They're like, oh, but I already do this cardio. Can I do this as well? And I'm like, listen, sister, right? The more you move, the more calories you burn, the more you'll shred. I mean, it just makes sense, doesn't it? Like, I would never say move less. Whenever people come to me and they're like doing shreds with me and they're like, oh, can I do this and can I do that? I'm like, move more, sister, move more. The more you move, the better. So any other cardio that you do, you teach spin classes, you take your dog for a big hike every day, you love to, you're a runner. Yes, of course. Just don't sacrifice this program for your other form of cardio. That's what I would say. So if you find that you're too tired or too sore to run, I would prefer that you give up the running than give up part of the program. Okay. And don't forget, guys, right? I don't know whether this, but this is like the biggest prize fund that we have ever had, ever. Okay. See, whenever I was coming up with the idea for the 12-week shred competition, I was like, I remember where I was sitting outside my daughter's gymnastics or trampolining. She'd gone to trampolining and I was sitting there and I was thinking about the 12-week shred and I thought, I'm going to do something really crazy. And I was like, what is really going to make people stick to this program? Because 12 weeks is hard. You know why I offer such big prizes, right? Because there are very few people standing on stage in a bodybuilding competition for a reason, right? Do you know what that reason is? It's hard. It's harder than anything you've ever done probably in your entire life. There are people who do very hard things. I get it, okay? There are people who have physical disabilities that are hard. There are obviously ultra runners and all the rest of it. But for 95% of the population, this is probably the hardest thing you will ever do. And if you didn't have a big, badass check waving at the finish line, perhaps waiting for you, you would just give up halfway through. So I was like, okay, what's going to make people really stick to this? And I was like, we offer a $5,000 prize to the winner of the 4-week shred program, which is discontinued now, by the way, guys. You can't even buy it anymore because we're going to relaunch it next year. But for this one, I was like, I'm going to offer $10,000 to the winner. You heard that right, okay? $10,000 to the winner. I'm going to offer $5,000 to second place, $1,000 to third place, $500 to fourth place, and $250 to fifth place. So even if you don't come first, even if you come second, you still walk away with $5,000. Even if you don't come second, you come third, you still walk away with $1,000. Even if you don't come either of those, you get 500 or 250. And even if you don't come in the top 5, you walk away with a ripped and shredded body. You walk away with self-esteem. You walk away with the discipline that you have built in the 12 weeks. You walk away with the knowledge and the belief in yourself that you are the kind of person who shows up and does the hard thing. And that is worth far, far more than the money, let me tell you. So $10,000 top prize, 5,000, 1,500, 250. So let me see. Claudette Jordan, if a particular machine is busy, is it okay to move on and come back to that exercise? Or is it better to do an alternative so we stay with that muscle group? So that's a good question. You can do either. So you could do an alternative exercise so you stay with that muscle group, or what I would prefer though is that for example, if you're training legs, right? And if a piece of equipment is available, it's better to substitute. So if I'm doing an incline hack squat and the incline hack squat is busy, I will go to it and do a pendulum squat instead. So you totally can substitute a different piece of equipment that works a similar body part, or you can do another exercise and come back to it. But what I wouldn't want you to do is, if you were working chest and triceps, for example, right? I wouldn't want you to go and do a tricep exercise so you would maybe do 3 chest exercises, then 3 tricep exercises. I wouldn't want you to go and do a tricep exercise and then come back to a chest exercise. Does that make sense? I would rather you stay within the chest exercises and then move to the tricep exercises. But yes, you totally can substitute. I love it when people substitute. I know people are like, I must stick to the program. But what you don't realize is the more you vary your squats, the more you vary your, the different angles of the muscle, the better the results you get. So never be afraid to ask Google, what is a substitute exercise for a bench press? And then do that instead. As long as it's a big compound, that's totally and utterly fine. Okay. So, let me see. I'm trying to see. There's just loads of comments. It's great. Okay, Melissa Creech is saying, I feel uncomfortable lifting heavier weights when I don't have a spotter. Is it okay just to stick to machines when I don't have a spotter? 100%. I always use machines as far as I can. I never ever do barbell bench presses. I never do barbell squats. I have not picked up, apart from dumbbells, I have not picked up a free bar to do an exercise, shoulder press, chest press, nothing in over a year. I always choose machine-based machines for exercises. Here's why, right? When you choose a machine, it locks you in. You cannot wiggle around and so it uses less muscles, but whenever you're a bodybuilder such as I am, I'm not going for functional strength. I'm going for aesthetics. So it depends on what your goal is. I assume that everybody who purchases my programs is going for aesthetics, okay? So whenever you're going for aesthetics, you want to look a certain way. That's why we say stay off the scale, stop weighing yourself, stop doing your body fat and all that shit, okay? Really, it makes no difference. If you wanted to weigh 10 pounds lighter, you could just chop your leg off. Chop your leg off, lose 10 pounds instantly, right? But you wouldn't look maybe as aesthetically pleasing as you would if you had your leg. So it doesn't matter about your weight, it's how you look in the mirror. Whenever I started bodybuilding, I was 57 kilos, okay? I don't know what that is in pounds. Let me work that out in pounds. 57 multiplied by 2.2. I was 125 pounds when I started, okay? I am now 147 pounds. 147 pounds. What is that in kilos? 66.8 kilos. I'm about 66 kilos at the minute. So seriously, you guys, you have to stop weighing yourself. So, what was the question? Yes, it depends whether you're training for aesthetics or whether you're training for functional strength. If you're training for functional strength, there are people who come on and they're like, oh, you should never squat on the Smith. And I'm like, really? Why? Like I teach all my team, all my coaches in my programs. I say to them, and I know there's loads of them on here today. Hi guys. What I always say is ask a question first. So when someone asks a question in one of my groups or asks me a question on Instagram, I say, what is your goal? What are you going for, right? Because I get people like trolls, okay? And they come to me on Instagram and they see me like doing stuff or squatting on the Smith or whatever. And they're like, oh, you should never do a Smith squat. You should always do a free bar squat. The Smith squat. Oh, this is so funny watching her do a Smith squat. And I'm like, you have no effing clue why I'm doing a Smith squat. You've just like judged me based on your own perception. So then I go and look at their page and they're like, I'm sorry, but they're a big fat powerlifter. Like, or they're a wannabe powerlifter. I'm not saying powerlifters are fat. I'm not judging. But the ones who troll me on Instagram when I go and look on their page, I'm like, seriously? Like, you're trolling me? And so anyway, I think that it's important. What's important to recognize is, what is the person's goal? My goal is aesthetics, right? I want to look a certain way. I don't care if I am strong. I don't give a damn how much I bench press or how much I can squat or how much I can deadlift. I don't care. I don't deadlift, okay? Because it hurts my back. So I don't deadlift. I don't give a damn. But what I do give a damn is how big my butt is and how separated my quads are and how lovely and sculpted my arms and my shoulders are. That's what I care about. So why do I train on machines all the time? I train on machines all the time because I want to look a certain way. Machines isolate a muscle group so they don't. Squatting on the Smith takes a lot of the muscle groups out that a free bar squat uses. This is on purpose. I'm not dumb. I'm not like squatting on the Smith because I think it's like a really fun thing to do. I have purposely chosen that piece of apparatus to support my goal. The problem with the world is most of you, and I'm gonna lump a lot of you in here, are training with no goal whatsoever. You just want to look better. Like, seriously, what does that actually mean? I train with a definable goal. And the first thing I do when people come into my programs is I say, set a body goal. Choose a body goal. Even if you think you'll never get there, choose a person that you want to look like and slap it on your phone as a screensaver. Put it on your phone, put it on your fridge, put it on your computer, put it anywhere and have that goal in your mind. And then your body goal will change over time. Mine has changed over time, but that is how you want to have a goal. And that you want to look, you always have a goal of what you want to look like. So that's why I train on machines, because machines are so much better for aesthetics because they isolate the muscle and lock you in. They're also very safe because there's less chance of hurting yourself. And really, like, give up the personal bests, guys. Personal bests are just for egos, right? Guys love it. Oh, I benched over 100 kilo. I'm chasing the 100 kilos. Really? Why? Why are you chasing 100 kilos? Like, for what? Do you think someone's going to give you a medal or something? Does it mean like you're going to have a bigger penis? I don't know. I don't get it. It's a guy thing. I don't care how much I lift. I just want to look good. Okay. I'm getting sidetracked. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to take I'm going to take one from Instagram. Okay, so Instagram. And guys, don't forget, I'm going to give away a copy of the 12-week tread to someone here on Facebook and someone here on Instagram at the end of this live. So make sure that you share the video if you can. Okay, so someone's saying your energy is infectious. Oh my God, thank you. Listen, I never stop talking and I talk so fast. And people always say to me, you talk so fast. I'm like, I know, keep up. Keep up. Okay. Everyone's like, yes, I want to get shredded. I don't care if I eat the same thing over and over. Well, then you are going to succeed because that is what it takes. I run and swim 3 days a week each. Mrs. Johnston is saying, but I need to stop on this program. No. You can keep going. Remember, the more you move, the more you lose. That should be here. Here, Stace. Are you on here, Stace? Stace, that should be a t-shirt. The more you move, the more you lose. Love it. Okay. How long does tofu stay in the fridge? I don't know, until it smells. I just look at things. I just smell food, and if it smells okay, I eat it. Let me see. Okay, this is a good one. Burby B Nug is saying, I see people weighing the supplements like 5 grams over whatever. Is this necessary? I'm just going by the serving size on the pack. Like 1 scoop is 5 grams, so I go by that. Is that wrong? Again, it depends on your goal, okay? So in my program, I always recommend exact amounts of supplements. So, and I recommend either between 5 and 10 grams, depending on what it is. So again, it depends on your goal. If you're following a program, we give a very specific supplement schedule in the 12-week shred in all my programs. I'm very specific on supplements. So if you have a program that you're following, they should give you the exact amount of supplements you need to take. If you don't have a program that you're following, then, as a general guideline, I would always take 5 grams of supplements. I take lutein, creatine, and L-glutamine. I take 5 grams in my post-workout shake, and I take 5 grams usually again at the end of the day. So I will usually take 10 grams a day of each of those, but that's because I'm lifting big, heavy, badass weights. So it depends on how much weight you're lifting as to how much you need to supplement, but always in your post-workout shake, that's what I would take. And sometimes depending on whether you're dieting or training, you're going to need more branched chain amino acids, BCAA. People ask, why do you take BCAA? It's very, very simple. And this is why BCAA is very important when you're shredding. So listen up, okay? Put your listening ears on. Who is it says that? Judge Judy. My dad loves watching Judge Judy. Honestly, she drives me insane. Put your listening ears on is what she always says. So put your listening ears on. So interesting fact coming your way. You listening? Whenever your body is it enters starvation mode, or whenever your body releases cortisol and then shuts down fat burning, or whenever your body is stressed, your body will break down muscle tissue into amino acids for energy. Amino acids are a great and very usable form of energy for the body. So if your body shuts down fat burning as a fuel source, which it can do quite a lot. So if your body gets stressed, if your body is releasing cortisol, if you're doing like high intensity, like say high intensity training, like for a prolonged period of time, like a HIIT class, which I absolutely detest. I hate HIIT classes. If you do a spin class. If you do a spin class, your body after about 20 minutes starts releasing cortisol. When your body releases cortisol, your body goes, it's like the warning signs come on, right? This is what I imagine happens. It goes, and it goes, in the Titanic, whenever it like hit the iceberg and all the doors started coming down, like to keep the water out. This is what your body does when it releases cortisol. It goes, shut down fat burning. We're going to need that energy source for future shortage, and start to burn off other forms of, or other things for energy right away, guys. Okay. Your body wants to preserve fat. Your body does not want to get rid of fat. Fat is a very, very usable source of energy for your body. So your body wants to hold on to fat at all costs. So if your body is in the slightest bit stressed, your body goes, oh my God, we have a massive energy demand on us right now because like we're totally stressed. So like her blood pressure's gone through the roof, her heart rate's gone through the roof, all of these things. So your body instantly starts shutting down fat store. What does it use for energy instead? Muscle tissue. So you're working hard in the gym, and then you're releasing cortisol by doing a spin class, and then your body is breaking down muscle tissue. Potentially. Doesn't happen all the time, but spin classes are the worst. So if you're taking branched chain amino acids, right, and you have amino acids floating around your bloodstream, guess what your body's going to use for energy instead of muscle tissue? Ta-da! You guessed it, branched chain amino acids. So it's really good to take amino acids. I sip amino acids throughout the day whenever I am prepping, because I always keep amino acids in my water when I'm prepping. They're not a stimulant, so they're not going to keep you awake or anything. It's just amino acids. I keep them in my water all day when I'm shredding, because then just in case my body ever released cortisol and stopped burning fat and started breaking down muscle tissue, it's not going to break down muscle tissue. It's going to take the amino acids out of my bloodstream and it's going to burn those instead. So a lot of people are like, why do you even take BCAA? That is why. Well, that's why we take it when we're shredding. But when you're building muscle, it's also really good for helping to repair the muscle tissue. Okay. So let's see. Okay. So another question here from Facebook. And I'm sorry, guys. I know there's like 417 comments. Like I'm never going to go through them all. So I'm just keep asking. Even if you've asked a question previously, if I didn't get to it, ask it again, because I'm just taking the most recent questions. So let me see. Okay, Courtney Stewart, I'm going to answer this really quickly because it's important. Going with the question about running through what you eat daily, what is your take on soy? Okay, a lot of people are saying soy is good or bad. Now your question's disappeared and I can't see it. So soy, okay, there are no scientific studies to substantiate any claims about soy. I know a lot of people who have breast cancer avoid soy, right? And whenever I ask them why, they go, oh, I don't really know, because it's just that my surgeon told me I should. And I'm like, so you actually have no idea why you should avoid soy. You've just been told you should, so you didn't bother researching it. And they say yes. And I say, silly, silly girl. So, and I know it. Listen, I don't have breast cancer. I can't even imagine how scary it would be. But I know that if I ever got breast cancer, let me tell you something, I would not take anything my surgeon said as gospel. I would do a lot of my own research and I would come to a lot of my own conclusions. So here's the thing about soy, right? And people get real scared about, oh, you shouldn't take soy and it affects your estrogen levels and men's testosterone and all the rest of it. In one of my nutrition programs, I have a soy-free meal plan. It's available for purchase on the website. It's an 8-week soy-free meal plan. There is a full bit in the beginning of it, where I break down all of the research. I spent years researching and I put all my team onto this. I was like, find me all the scientific data about soy. Do you know what we found? Nothing. There is no scientific data about soy. There is only hypotheses. So here's the thing about breast cancer and soy. soy contains a component, right? Or like I can't even remember what it is, right? I can't even give you the data. All I can tell you is soy contains a component that is present in breast tissue. Whenever this component, whenever your breast cells turn cancerous, it is this particular component that turns cancerous, right? Soy contains that component. So they hypothesize that if you eat more soy, this could potentially increase the number of cancerous, number of cells in your breast that if you did get cancer would turn cancerous. But there is no evidence anywhere to say that having more of these cells means you're more likely to get cancer. Isn't that shocking? So they have just seen that it increases the amount of these particular cells in your breast tissue, but some women have loads of these and some women have very little of these, and there is no correlation between the amount of cells and breast cancer. None. So same with the thing, like they did studies on guys with on testosterone levels. Oh, it affects sperm count and testosterone levels. They did a study on 23 men over a 4-week period, right? They gave half of them soy and half of them no soy. And whenever they brought them back in and tested their sperm counts, something like 40% of them had 10% less sperm. I mean, you call that a scientific trial? A lot of the data is skewed based on what the soy companies want you to believe or based on what the meat and dairy companies want you to believe. The meat and dairy companies want you to believe that soy is bad for you and you should choose meat and dairy. The soy companies want you to believe that soy is good for you. And so they skew all the data in their thing. So the data is skewed on both sides. So because the data is skewed on both sides, you can't believe either of them. You just have to do your own research and come to your own conclusions. My personal conclusions from all of my research is that soy is completely safe. I have my hormones tested every single year, twice a year. A full, comprehensive 2,000 marker blood test. And my hormones are absolutely perfect. And I eat about 120 to 150 grams per day of soy protein. That's just my tuppence worth. You can agree with me. You can disagree with me. I don't really give a shit. I have made up my own mind about it. I am very happy with my research. But all I would say to you guys is don't accept anything on good faith. Do your research. Do your research on everything. Okay? Great. Let's take another question. Okay, so Jennifer L. Foot Thompson, that is a great name, says, so this 12-week shred has more of a circuit feel. No, it doesn't, because some people have been doing the exercises as a circuit. You don't do them as a circuit. So you have, like, say, a set of shoulder presses, right? You have 4 sets of shoulder presses. So you do 10 to 12 reps. Then you do 1 minute of active rest cardio. You can choose any cardio that you want from the list we give you. Then you do another set of shoulder presses, then another minute of cardio. Another set, another minute of cardio. So a circuit is where you change the exercise each time. This, you don't change the exercise. It's more like a HIIT class than a circuit, if that makes sense. Circuits are where you change the exercise. This, you don't. You can, of course, change the cardio that you do if you want to. Some people do. They're like, I can't do 4 sets of mountain climbers. I'm like, no problem at all. Like, you do whatever you want. So some people do change the cardio each time. And let me tell you, a lot of the women are saying that they're feeling like they're getting strange looks in the gym. And I'm like, they're not strange looks. They are looks of admiration. People are looking at you and saying, holy shit, she is a badass. Like, look at her. Like, she is definitely committed. And I think it's a little awkward. The first time you do it, you do think that people are going to be looking at you, and see by the end of it, you're so fucked, you don't care. Excuse my language, but you totally are. You're like, I don't give a shit if you're looking at me because I'm exhausted and I'm dripping with sweat and I know that fat is screaming right now inside of me. So you can look all you want. In fact, look, because you're going to see it again tomorrow. That's what I tell them to say. So it's not a circuit. It's more like a HIIT class. Okay. So let me see. Someone saying, I love your chats about soy. I know, the whole soy debate honestly drives me in. Say isoflavones. Thank you, Sally. Sally is part of Team Sculpted Vegan. And whenever I do these lives, my brain just goes blank. Okay. People ask me questions. I'm like, don't know. So isoflavones, that is what is in soy that is supposed to increase the cells in your breast tissue. Okay. Let me see. You guys are, yes, you need to research yourself. Dum 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 dum. Oh my god, you guys are like loving. So there's very few more questions. Okay, Demore Bornschleg. I hope I pronounced that right. What do you think about exercising after eating? I always eat before I exercise. So it's funny. I was in New York with my BFF on the weekend, and I said to her, let's go for breakfast, and then I'm going to go to the gym. And she said, you're going to go to the gym after you've had breakfast? I was like, oh yes. I would never go to the gym without eating. She was like, are you serious? You would like never go to the gym without eating? I said, so here's the thing, right? Whenever you go to the gym, you need your muscles to be filled with glycogen. If your muscles are filled with glycogen, you will be able to lift heavier. When you lift heavier, you rip apart more muscle tissue, which means that your muscles will grow. Also, if you go to the gym having had protein and a really good carb before you go, your body will repair the muscle tissue far, far, far faster. The minute you start to break down your muscle tissue in the gym, your body instantly starts to try to repair the muscle tissue. As soon as the muscle tissue is ripped apart, your body starts to repair it. If you're smoking, as soon as you smoke, right? As soon as you start to inhale cigarette smoke into your lungs, your body instantly starts to try to repair your lungs. Your body is constantly trying to repair itself. So you always want to eat before you go to the gym. See, people who don't eat before they go to the gym, they're missing out on such valuable, valuable muscle growth. So I always eat before I go to the gym. This morning, I trained legs with Mark. So I was at the gym for 9:30. So because I didn't want to eat oatmeal before I went, because it wouldn't have broken down and gone into my muscles fast enough, because I didn't wake up till 8 o'clock. I had a protein shake with some Vitargo, which is a high molecular weight fast acting carb. I had that before I went to the gym. In fact, I drank it on the way over with my supplements. So by the time I went to train legs, I had so much energy because my muscles were filled with glycogen from the carbohydrate. Had I had oatmeal before I went, it just would have sat in my belly. It would have taken a long time to digest, and it wouldn't have gone into my muscles, and I wouldn't have had the same amount of energy. Very important to eat before you go to the gym. Okay. Let me see. Who's saying you're electric? Yolados, that is so funny. I love doing these lives. I love doing these lives. Like I love doing them. This is like I look forward to them all day whenever I am going to do these. Okay. Let me just see any other questions. And then I've been on for nearly an hour. Instagram will kick me off after a full 60 minutes. I know Chavita Pa is saying you talk super fast. I do. I'm so sorry. Just keep up. Okay. Keep up. Do you know why I talk so fast? Because I love to try and fit more in. I'm like, we only have 1 hour and I have so much to say. So I try and talk fast. I do everything fast. I talk fast. I move fast. I work fast. I eat fast. I train fast. I do everything fast because I just like to fit so much more in. So much more in. My mom always said, if it was easy, everyone would do it. Romeo's mom is saying, so true. If it was easy, everyone would do it. That's why they're not. How late do you eat? That's a really good one. Breon Jorgensen is asking, I eat as late as I possibly can. I love eating before bed. I can't sleep if I don't eat before bed. See all this, you shouldn't eat before bed because it ruins your metabolism shit. I don't subscribe to it. I believe that your muscles grow whenever you're sleeping, and you need to fuel your body. You need to give it something, some kind of energy before you go to sleep. And I know that there's a whole school of thought that is all about the digestion and elimination, and you shouldn't eat too late and all of this stuff because your body has to start digesting and eliminating your food. Maybe that's true, but again, I ask, well, what is your goal? My goal is big, badass muscles, big legs, big butt, big arms, flat, muscled stomach. That's what I want. So eating before bed gives me that. So that's why I eat before bed. If your goal is not that, if your goal is to fast and you do intermittent fasting, or I don't know anything about it, but I detest it. I think that it's the worst possible thing that a bodybuilder can ever do, intermittent fasting. You want to speed up your metabolism, people, not slow it down, okay? See, intermittent fasting, let me have a 1 minute rant. Intermittent fasting slows your metabolism. When you wake up in the morning, your metabolism is slow because you've been fasting. If you don't eat until midday, your metabolism stays slow. What helps you to burn fat? A fast metabolism. What raises your metabolism? More muscle, more food, more exercise. Don't eat less, people. Exercise more. If you eat more, you exercise more, and you build more muscle, your metabolism goes through the roof and the fat falls off. I know, because I do it every single year. I stand up on stage less than 10% body fat. Intermittent fasting does not feature in any bodybuilder shred. If it was the most effective way to lose weight, all the bodybuilders in the world would be doing it because we are the leanest people in the world. We are shredded when we stand on stage. So really, I'm like, Oh, I'm like, whenever I want to do something, right? Whenever I want to be really successful, whenever I wanted to build a multi-million-dollar company, right? I looked at someone who had built a multi-million-dollar company and I said, I'm going to do what she's done. I'm going to follow everything that she's done. I'm going to do exactly as she did it. And 18 months later, I had a multi-million-dollar company. When I wanted to get really, really, really lean, I looked at the leanest person that I knew and I said, I'm going to do what he did. And did I get really lean? Yes. And whenever do you see what I'm talking about? Whenever I wanted to build loads of muscle, I was like, I want big, massive legs and a big, massive butt and really muscly arm and really muscly back, right? So I was like, so I'm going to find the biggest, baddest bodybuilder that I've ever met in my entire life, aka my trainer, Mark Getty, whose bicep is 24 inches, by the way, right? I'm going to find the biggest bodybuilder I can find and I'm going to ask him how he did it and would he teach me? And he said, sure, no problem. And I went to him and he taught me exactly how I did it. And that is the information that I bring into my programs. After I started training with Mark, I completely changed my 12-month program. I changed all of the exercises in the 12-month program because I built more muscle with Mark in the last year than I had built in any other time in my training journey. Why? Because Mark knows how to build big muscle. How do I know this? Because Mark is the biggest person I've ever met in my entire life. Proof is in the pudding. So intermittent fasting, if you want to build loads of muscle, if you want to like get really shredded, don't follow the crowd. Do the 12-week shred. I'm only joking. Okay. Gonna choose the winner. Okay. Gonna choose the winner. Okay. Gonna choose the winner here on Instagram first because it's going to kick me off in a couple of minutes. So I'm going to scroll and the first person that lands, I'm scrolling up and down, up and down, up and down. The top commenter, if you have shared this, you have to share it by hitting the paper airplane. Wins, and you can share it afterwards, even if you haven't shared it now, but I won't give you the program until you shared it. Wins a copy of the 12-week shred. Are you ready? Okay, I'm letting it go. And the top person is Barbie Benug. And I actually already answered your question. Berbie, Berbie Benug. That's how you spell your name, okay? And I actually had answered your question about the supplements. You win on Instagram the copy of the 12-week shred. I'm going to check that you have actually shared it. I'm going to write it down. And look, this is the 12-week shred. I printed this out earlier. This is like the 12-week shred. It's not really because it's in color and this is in black and white, but my printer nearly had a shit attack whenever I asked it to print that in color. I need to write down your name. I need a pen. Okay. And I can't find my pen, of course. Instagram is going to kick me off in 1 minute and 30 seconds. So I'm just going to write down your name, Berbig, Berbig, Benug. Okay. You have won a copy of the 12-week shred. Let's see if you're still here. I'm going to go right down to the very bottom. If you're still here, tell me you're still here and be like, yay, I'm here. Congratulations. Congratulations. Okay, Instagram's going to kick me off in 1 minute. Let me choose the winner of the, so I'm scrolling up and down here on Facebook, scrolling, and I'm going to let it go. And the top person is Crystal Fredrickson. Crystal Fredrickson, you are the winner of the 12-week shred program. And if you have already purchased the 12-week shred program, you can give it to somebody else. No problem at all. Crystal, if you're still here, just let me know, have you shared this video? Because if you haven't, or if you already have it and you want me to like go again, I'll go again, no problem at all. Instagram, thank you so much. You guys were amazing. I've only got 30 seconds left, so I'm going to finish this now. You guys are stunning. If you want to purchase a copy of the 12-week shred, it's only $197. I know that seems a lot, but truly for what you get, it really isn't a lot. You will get the body of your dreams at the end of it. Go to thesculptedvegan.com/12-week shred. Or just go to my website, thesculptedvegan.com. Sculptedvegan.com, go there, pick up your copy of the 12-week shred, $10,000 could be yours, and come back to you, Facebook. Could be yours, and thank you so much for being here and being so awesome and participating because you guys are amazing. And I'll see you soon. And then Instagram kicks me off and it goes, your video has ended. Okay, guys, who else is here? I just wanted to say, all right, okay, so who won? Who won? Okay, Stace put in the, Stace is my community manager and she is here and she put in Crystal Bredicson. Yes, she's saying, yay, thank you. Crystal, Stace, I know that you're here live. Could you please reach out to Crystal for me and arrange to get her copy of the 12-week shred? And do me a favor as well. Just click onto her Facebook page and check that she shared this video because you have to have shared it in order to win it. Congratulations, Crystal. And guys, thank you so much for being here. This was absolutely awesome. I'm so sorry I didn't get through all your questions. I will go through the questions and my team and I will go through all of your questions and we will try to answer them all in the comments. And like I said, if you want to go and you want to pick up a copy of the 12-week shred, it's thesculptedvegan.com/12-week shred. We will not let you fail. I know that I know $197 is a lot of money, and I know there's a lot of you are pissed off because you've told us we're pissed off. We wanted it for 97, and I'm not going to buy it now because you've raised the price. Truly, I don't care whether you buy it or not, because really this is your body, and if you're not willing to invest $200 for 12 weeks of like the most awesome program and training journals and quick start guides and 24-hour community support with prep coaches and nutritionists, if that isn't worth $200 to you, then you probably don't want it badly enough, which is totally fine, and I get it. But let me tell you something, it is worth every single penny, and it will get you totally ripped, and you will have a chance of winning $10,000. And I can't honestly tell you any more than that or better than that. So sculptedvegan.com/12-week shred if you want to go there. But listen, guys, see if you have any other questions and you want to chat to one of my team, jump in now to send us a message here on this business page. My team are in there every single day, and I go in all the time as well and check all the comments and the questions. So if you have any questions that you want answered before you purchase, jump in now, right now. My team are here. They're all on this. They're all on this live. Jump in there and ask any questions, and we will go in and we will answer your questions. I will go in as well and check. I'm going to take the dog for a walk now, so we'll do it while I'm walking, and we will answer any of your questions that you have about the 12-week shred. And hopefully, if it's, you decide it's for you, you'll hop in, and if it's not, maybe another time. So thank you so much for being here. This was absolutely awesome. These lives are my favorite thing to do. We had so many people on live, and thanks for all of the questions and your participation. I love every single one of you, and I hope to see you inside the program, because that's where I am. If you ever want to get hold of me, the only place that you can get hold of me in person, apart from Instagram, because I'm on there quite a lot as well, is inside of the groups in the 12-week shred. I'm in there every single day, checking and advising and doing Q&As. So if you want personal access to me, because I'm pretty awesome, then you have to buy one of my programs. Guys, thank you so much. I'm going to finish now, but I will speak to you all soon, and we'll do another live soon, I promise. Take care. Big kiss to all of you.